so interconnected.
I think the most exciting thing for me in human sciences is this idea of the journey, because I did it myself. So I came in with art subjects. I came as a mature student. I was 24 when I started, and I thought I was interested in anthropology. And it's not that I'm not interested in anthropology, but I was suddenly exposed to genetics and human ecology and animal behaviour and demography and a whole host of other subjects. And I came out being able to teach genetics and human ecology. That is amazing.
I really wanted to keep up the breadth of things I'd done for A-level. I did very kind of disparate A-levels with English, French, biology and art. So they didn't really lead in one clear direction, and I knew I loved biology, but I wasn't sure I wanted to narrow down so much. I didn't really want to restrain myself like that. So I wanted a course that would kind of stimulate loads of different areas and be really interesting at all times, and human sciences really ticks that box.
I would never have wanted to do a biology course or straight physiology or just sociology. I wanted to still be studying everything. I wanted to, especially because all of the elements that we do are so interconnected.
When I was 16, 17, I never thought to go to university because my family didn't go to university. So it wasn't really an option. But then it became an option because this professor of mine at school told me, why not? I think one of the issues with the course is that not very many people are aware of the course. And in fact, what you hear from students is that as soon as they discover that, they just love it.
People always ask what human sciences is, everyone, even people who are at my college with me. And I think the best way to describe it is just studying humans from all possible perspectives.
If you're interested in genetics, animal behaviour, demography, which is the study of populations, and sociology, those are the core subjects in human sciences as well as anthropology, then this is the course for you.
If you want to be able to answer questions that are going to be fundamental in this century for the future of humans on the planet, well, that's human science is the right course for you.
What makes this degree different from other universities who are offering human sciences is that we allow individuals who come from an arts-based background to join those who've got a science-based background.
If I'm sat around biochemists and physicists, then I feel like quite an artsy student, but if I'm around people sort of doing philosophy and things like that, I feel quite scientific.
The way that you can look around the subject really means that you find new areas of interest that you didn't even know you had.
It explains things that are very relevant in, not necessarily in day-to-day life, but in the news. I find that I understand things an awful lot better.
To begin with, the course is it's very much prescribed. You do 5 papers at the end of the first year, and you don't choose between any of them.
In first year, we had to do a practical class with all the biologists. We did some genetic engineering. I found that really hard.
Because it is so broad, it's one of its merits, but also has the issue of meaning that there's probably going to be something that you don't like. So I had to do everyone has to do a statistics paper in their first year, and I hadn't done maths A-level, and I don't like maths at all, and so doing a statistics paper was very difficult.
Second year, again, it's all pretty set out for you. Everyone does 4 key papers, and then there's an option between anthropology and sociology for your 5th.
In the last year, you get to pick 2 options, which range from psychology to very precise anthropology to sociology.
The options could be in things like forensic art anthropology, which is very exciting, and so there's a guy who comes in who is responsible for CSI work, and so he comes in. We've got students doing health and disease, who may then go on to do public health. We have students doing cognition and culture, evolutionary psychology, all sorts of rather amazing subjects.
I think the bit of the course that the majority of the students like very much is the dissertation. It's this free piece of work that you ask to submit as part of your finals, where you ask to bring together at least different aspects of the course.
I've just decided to do it on the biology of human mate choice, and what we can learn from genetics and evolutionary biology and animal behaviour as to why humans choose the mates that they do.
It sounds really sad, but the libraries are really good. The libraries are good to work in, but the online checking system, so you can know which library's got a book, whether it's available, whether someone's already got it, so you're not just trawling around libraries looking for things. You can always get hold of them.
I always find it funny, people come to visit and they say, oh, can we go to the library? Which library? Because there are so many libraries.
For one of the classes, students can get access to the Natural History Museum, and specific to the collection of fossil materials and human material is present there.
The access one has to one's tutors is perhaps the most special thing about coming to Oxford.
The course is really nice because it's so small. There's only 27 in my year, so you get to know everyone. I know everyone's name, everyone's face, which is really nice. And we do the occasional kind of dinner together and things like that.
In most weeks of most terms, I'll be going to about 12 lectures a week that could be spread out at any point. I'll have usually 2 tutorials. I have at least 1 tutorial a week.
My first tutorials were really pleasantly surprising. I was kind of expecting tutors that looked about 300 years old and were going to be very strict, but I had young, some of them were women, which I didn't expect. Like really fun, really nice, really easygoing.
My first tutor has a Wikipedia page about him. He's a real big deal within demography, and that's great. That's the whole purpose of the tutorial system. And at first it seemed a bit mad that that person was going to be teaching me in a 2-on-1 environment.
I'm pretty sure I sent an email before my first essay telling her I couldn't do it, and she helped me out, and it was fine, pleasantly surprising.
We're learning together because they may well bring things that I don't know about.
The workload, it varies, but it's generally about 1 to 2 essays a week, I would say, and your essays are between 1,500 and 2,500 words.
One of the things I hope that our students feel when they come is that they are in an environment where they can make mistakes. You can only learn if you're prepared to make mistakes.
Whatever I'm reading, I'm always questioning the perspective that it's viewed from, or their sources, or something. I never really take anything completely for granted, which I think is good.
In an interview, there is no, at least from my point of view, a right or wrong answer. It's more the answer and the way you argue that answer.
It's not necessarily to test what you know, it's to test how you respond to sort of the tutorial system.
What we really would like people to do when they come for interview is to be themselves. That's the most important thing you can do.
If you're coming over with a big list of books that you've read, or big names that you want to cite, that's fine. But then I'm going to stop you and I'm going to ask, okay, but why are you saying that? Do you really believe that? How would you like to tackle this?
If you're struggling, they'll sort of tease an answer out of you. They'll give you a bit of confidence early on. They see so many people that are nervous and desperately want to place.
We ask them to give as much information about why they're interested in the sort of things that we teach, but we also give them the opportunity to write 100 words completely separately from the UCAS form. And in that 100 words, we ask them specifically to tell us why they'd like to do human sciences.
I thought about turning down my offer for Oxford and going to Nottingham, because I thought that coming here I would have 3 years with bizarre, socially awkward people, and that it wouldn't be much fun. But that's the biggest thing that I wish I knew beforehand. I wish I knew how much fun I was going to have.
I had just got back from a wedding and I went upstairs with my letter planning not to open it, but I just couldn't, so I'd half changed out of the dress I'd worn to the wedding, and then I opened it and I think I screamed.
You have to invent your own job by the end of it, and we get people that are doing anything, from journalism to working for NGOs, to getting PhDs.
I've got friends who have been working out in Afghanistan, working with women refugees there in order to make them economically viable. I've got a friend who is very senior in a company in Italy where she's doing merchandising for 180 stores.
The university has a careers service which is really top. I've been looking at their website recently and it's good stuff.
I don't know yet where I want to go end up in the future, but I think that's partly why I chose the Human Sciences course, because it's just something that I'm so interested in, and it means I haven't really ruled anything out because I've kept, you know, a broad range of subjects.
I'd like to apply what I know, so ideally I'd like to be working on strategy for charities or NGOs, that sort of thing.
We prepare them to make good and just decisions. And if they make good and just decisions, we can't ask for more than that.
I want to do something that's worthwhile, so yeah, that's what the course has taught me.
If you are interested in it, then definitely go for it. Like, I think it can be scary because it's so split up. There might be aspects that you think, oh, maybe that's not for me. But I think as long as you've got a kind of core interest in humans and the way they fit into the world and the things like that, it really is worth going for because it's such an interesting course.
First of all, don't be scared. Try it. If you really want it, do it. I mean, yeah, why not? The worst, you come into Oxford, you have a few days for the interview, you enjoy the place, maybe you're not getting in. But what about getting in then? That you should really try.